Hello, I'm your relationship coach, Janelle. Welcome to this episode of Response and React. Today, we're diving into when money changes the rules, Keisha Ka'oir and Gucci Mane's relationship dynamics. If you love real talk on modern dating, hit that subscribe button, drop your thoughts in the comments below, and join my exclusive coffee community for deeper conversations and
I treat Gucci so good. Like, I know I said this when he first came out of prison, I would bathe him and whatever. I don't bathe him no more. But I used to bathe him. Now I still cook for him. Only thing Gucci got to do is shower. He don't got to do nothing else. I do everything for that man. But not because I have to do it. I want to. I enjoy taking care of him. I enjoy him just being happy and going to the studio and doing music. I don't want him to worry about the bills, worry about what he got to eat, worry about nothing. That man, all he got to do is bathe child and go do his shows and go to the studio. That is it. The wife takes care of everything else, and I love doing it. And if I don't do it, I would be miserable.
Why do you think you'd be miserable?
Because I want to take care of my man. I don't want nobody else to do it. I want you to pay so-and-so to do this. A chef, I cook for him. I buy his clothes. I do everything. And I want to keep the money at home. The thing is, when you have a man, you want that man to need you, not want you. And Gucci needs me. He can't function without me. And that's what you want in a relationship.
So, baby, Keisha Ka'oir said her husband don't have to do a goddamn thing. The only thing that he has to do as a man is take his own shower. She said at one point she used to bathe him. She said, but as a wife, she wants to do everything for her man. She said she cook for him, she clean for him, bitch. She'll rub his feet, rub his back, put his lotion on, put his deodorant on. She'll do anything he needs to be done. All he do is bathe himself, right? Now, me as a woman who's been with my husband for almost 20 years, I fucking feel where she coming from. When you have a loving, supportive husband and he is the main provider, see, I know she has her own businesses, but he's a provider. He's a good dad. I don't see nothing wrong in what she's doing. Some people's circumstances don't, permit them to do that. Some women actually have to get up here and work 9 to 5s, just like their husbands. They can't work from home, so they be tired too. Some women are out here, they stay-at-home moms, dealing with the kids all day. There's only so much they can do for their husbands. But for the women that are able to spoil their husbands in that way, shout out to Keisha Ka'oir. I'm telling y'all, that's a beautiful thing. And for you men, don't start comparing yourselves saying y'all women need to do that. The same shit Keisha Ka'oir doing to her husband. Because a lot of y'all probably not doing what that man is doing for his wife and his family. When you as a man pour into your family, and you got a good woman, because some of these hoes trash, but if you got a good woman, oh, she gonna make sure you straight.
Y'all remember when Gucci Mane got locked up and he claimed that he left Keisha Ka'oir so much money and she, tripled it, quadrupled it or something like that? And now, she's doing an interview and, she's getting asked questions and she's coming to his defense. They don't have no public spats. And she even said something like, all Gucci has to do is wake up, go to the studio, make his music, and come home. I take care of everything else. Boy, fellas, get you a woman like Keisha Ka'oir, bro. I don't care what y'all say about her. I don't care what negative y'all gotta say about her, bro. The way she carry herself, and I'm talking about the way she dressed, but the way she carry herself as a woman, bro, and how she is as a wife to Gucci Mane, bro, is exactly what men be looking for, bro. Somebody who don't complain. And I know they got money so they can, Gucci Mane can offer her much more than the average Joe can. But at the same time, bro, that's what we want. Somebody who just knows to take that pressure off us so we can handle the business. Don't complain about it. Be about it, bro. Yeah. Fellas, get you a Keisha Ka'oir, bro.
Okay, so I wanted to have a conversation about relationship dynamics that's beyond the 50-50 conversation. Now, I seen a clip from Keisha Ka'oir. She's the one who's married to Gucci Mane. And I know she is Caribbean. I believe she's Jamaican. And I also know she's a Capricorn. I'm saying the Capricorn part for a reason. I'm circling back to that later. And she was speaking about her marriage dynamic with Gucci Mane and how she was like, he don't have to do nothing outside of make music. I don't want him to worry about anything. he ain't gotta do nothing but shower. I take care of everything. The bills, of course, like paying the bills. You know how like women do, like they'll take the husband's money and pay the bills and stuff like that. And she's like, I pick out his clothes, I do this, like the wifely things, X, Y, and Z, blah, 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 whatever. And what's interesting to me is that I wish if we could get out the 50-50 type of conversation, is that I think marriages and relationships can have so many different dynamics and women who desire different things. And I'm not saying what Keisha Ka'oir said was wrong or anything like that, because it's a lot of women who view marriage and relationships in that dynamic. But upon hearing that, I was like, I want to be there for my partner, you know, relationship or marriage when I do cross that bridge. But I think I would like a partner who also had their own autonomy and independence, if that makes sense. And I'm not saying that Gucci Mane or whatever doesn't. I'm not saying it at all. But I don't think outside of like, oh, I was out and I seen this and X, Y, and Z, I want to shop for a man. Not buy him stuff. Y'all get what I'm saying? Like, it's like, I don't want to have to be the person that is doing everything for a person. And I don't think that is necessarily the only way to show up in relationships. I don't think people who desire to do that are wrong. And I don't think that people who don't desire to do that is wrong. It's like, and I'm talking about outside of, cooking a meal, cleaning the house, X, Y, and Z. Because most people who even have money, they either have chefs or housekeepers and stuff like that. So I'm not even talking about that. I'm just saying like the way that she was like, she said she enjoys doing it. And it's a lot of women who do. But it was just, I was sitting there like, yeah, I don't think that would be a relationship dynamic that will work for me. And again, not like in a comparison thing, but you know, that's what you do. You look at marriages, relationships and stuff like that. Again, if we get beyond and outside of who's paying for what, 50-50, you really get to explore relationships and what you like and what you don't like. I also realized that I know like a lot of women talk about, I want a rich man, X, Y, and Z, which ain't not wrong, because long time I spoke about that too. But I think I realized that I'm someone who would enjoy building with a partner more than I would enjoy having a partner who 1000% built their wealth and everything prior to me getting in a relationship, or has a partner that is like eons way more successful than I am. And not like out of jealousy or anything like that, but I do think, again, with listening to women who have experienced it and the psychologists and stuff like that, looking at interviews and stuff like that, a lot of women speak about how you lose your own autonomy when you are placed in positions where you don't work, you don't do anything like that, and your man 100% provides for you. And they speak about the difference in dynamics with that. And I'm not going to dive too deep into that, because women online often lose the plot with that conversation, with the need to prove things or kind of seem like they're kept. And I'm in this conversation for the women who actually like to think and, you know, speak about the difference in relationships to the things that they desire. But I don't know, I just thought it was interesting. I turned 34 this year, and it's like a lot of the beliefs and things I held around relationships, I'm realizing no longer hold true for me. And yeah, I think independence, you know, partnership and community, of course, in a relationship, and compromising and building together. But also, I think I desire a partner who has some sense of independence and who I can build with. Like, I want success. That's why I want my partner to have success. But I don't think I desire to be in a power dynamic where the man, like, everything is revolved around the man. Like, as far as, like, let's say how someone's dating an athlete or something like that, you pretty much got to go where he goes. Like, he pretty much dictates the pace of everything. And not like in like a power struggle type of way, because again, there's a lot of women who love to do that. I'm not saying it's anything wrong with that, but I'm saying in the sense of like the type of person that I am, I think I would thrive better in a relationship where it's two people who are of equal importance. And again, I'm not saying women who date men who are athletes or whatever are not important. I'm not saying it at all, but y'all get what I'm saying. I gotta say that because, you know, TikTok, you'll say one thing and they'll take it and run with it. But I don't know, I just think it's just very different and interesting how I'm starting to view relationship dynamics and what I want, what I desire, and how I want to show up and how I want my partner to show up. And I think if we could get beyond the 50-50 conversation, I think a lot of these conversations would be useful for women to have. Or men too, whatever. Oh, and I almost forgot that I said I was going to add in the Capricorn part. So what I realized about Capricorn women is I think that despite them being an earth sign, they love being of service in their capacity within relationships. Because years ago, I was friends with a Capricorn woman and we were out, and her boyfriend, I'm not gonna put his son out there, but he was also a fellow earth sign, whatever. But like he was like calling her like constantly the whole time we were out. And it was like for simple stuff that he could figure out on his own, but she was like telling him everything to do. Like, no, you do this, call this, whatever. Okay, I'll call this person XYZ. And I realized again, even back then, I never want to be in a relationship dynamic like that where a man is incapable of doing simple tasks for himself. And again, I'm not being judgy in the sense of saying there was like anything wrong with that or what she was doing, because people love in different ways and people feel valued in different ways. But when he kept doing it, I'm just like, in my head, I'm like, damn, this nigga can't figure out how to do X, Y, and Z. He can't figure out how to do da-da-da, blah, 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 blah. And again, I noticed with Capricorn women, now, is it an earth sign control thing? I don't know. In the world, we never know. But I do notice that a lot of Capricorn women are very similar to Keisha Ka'oir in that capacity where they like to be everything for their partner, which is drastically different. I'm a Cancer, but I got Leo placements too, but I'm like, yeah, I don't think I would want to have a relationship dynamic that's like that.
Can we talk? A lot of men out here want a Keisha Ka'oir, but they are not Gucci Mane material. Now, he ain't perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but that man love his wife, okay? There are court documents in the state of Georgia that proves their union, okay? This man gave her a little meal before he went off for her to do what she wanted to do, and she invested and flipped that for him. A lot of y'all won't even put gas in your baby mama car. But yet y'all want a woman to hold it down like a Keisha Ka'oir. Like, I don't. We gotta stop this. We gotta stop this madness. We gotta stop this madness. When a woman is properly loved, especially a black woman, she is going to go over and beyond. If y'all notice in his interview, she said specifically, it's because I want to. I enjoy it. All he gotta do is get up and shower. When a woman is properly loved, doing all that extra stuff is easy. Making sure food is cooked is easy. Cleaning is easy. You know what I'm saying? Like, if she wanted to hire and outsource some help for the days that she don't want to, I'm pretty sure she do. But for the most part, when a woman is properly loved, when a wife is properly loved by her husband, shit, he can about ask for just about anything. Like, and she gonna do it. A lot of y'all want the Keisha Ka'oir treatment, and y'all don't have Gucci Mane ethics. And y'all got to just be honest with yourselves before y'all go in the comments chirping about high value men this and y'all women don't do that. Be more. Maybe you just ain't Gucci Mane material. Okay.
I finally got the chance to watch the Keisha Ka'oir interview. And this is what I have to say, or what I feel like I want to add to this conversation. Take it or leave it. That kind of approach to being a wife or a partner, I am interested in, and I don't think it was very much discussed, and I do, and again, I haven't watched her on Love and Hip Hop, but I do, it wasn't there, so there's some extra kids there, something like that was before the marriage, and she has additional support. But what I'm trying to say is, if your husband is your sole focus and you're his everything, what is your capacity to take care of your children? Because he's not doing that. So it's not that you're taking care of him and he's taking care of the load of being, the primary parent. That's what I want to hear her talk about. And not just because mothers have, women have to be, it's not based on that. If everything in the household except being a provider is your responsibility, and you've listed off a extensive list of actions and work that you engage in as his wife for him in your household. I'm interested in like the young people, and I think the children are older, but even with that, I kind of wonder what that looks like, and that be my thought in general with folks who kind of have this trad wife kind of mentality. The father comes first, then what happens to the kids? And I just think that's difficult, and that's why I'm never going to. I think you can only, let me just say it. If I never wanted to be in a relationship, I might be more open to being a parent of one child. But the way that my limits are set up, the way that my focus is set up, it's like I can be a good wife. I can be a good partner. I added a dog to the last equation, and it almost sent me to my limits. So 2-3 kids and a husband who want his plate first and want it heated to a specific temperature and his towels laid up. I don't have the capacity. And bitch, you stay skinny, you stay in an outfit, you stay beat, you stay with your hair done. When are you sleeping, sis? What? Fuck all that. Carlos, ask her about her sleep routine. Does she have staff? Bitch, are you sleeping? Or do you have a do you have a CPAP machine? Like, what the fuck are we doing? Because you're snatched, you're done, you're whipped, you're together. You are a 24-hour wife and a mother, and you have businesses, and you be doing podcasts and shit, and you shooting a reality show. That's a lot.
I love Keisha Ka'oir down. I watched probably about half of the interview, and when we got to the part about all the things that she does for him, I just had to turn it off. I just felt it was so cringe to me because it felt like the expectation was so incredibly low. I understand that he is a provider in a way that we understand in a heteronormative sense. Girl, go off. Like, you bagged you a good one, because he understands the role that he is intended to play, and evidently she understands the role that she's intended to play. But it also during a time when Black women are being called to submit in these open forums, where the trad wife narrative is rampant, where we are being red-pilled in these conservative values, when Christian nationalism is at an all-time high, it feels like a loaded position to take, and one that can be dangerous. Because there is a power imbalance that is inherent to cis-normative patriarchal values. And that's where that mindset is rooted in. Now, Margo and I talked on the podcast before. What if you just love being a domestic goddess, bitch? You round the house with your waist trainer on, your lace glued down, the wig is melted into your scalp. You have your Keisha Ka'oir slimming tummy tea. It's nothing but a laxative, but that doesn't matter. And you're sipping that, and you are Swiffer jetting it around the house, and that brings you joy. I understand that. I understand there are people like that. But I would posit that there are fewer people like that than ones that are being forced into these roles. And I don't mean forced by gunpoint. I mean, abuse happens, obviously. I'm talking about forced by way of societal expectations, religious indoctrination, or simply what it takes to get a good man. Because she said some of y'all, like, don't leave you because you don't know how to cook. She said she used to bathe him when he came home. She said she would bathe him. What are we gaining from this? Well, I mean this sincerely. What are we gaining? Because if it is financial compensation, know that he is never going to be able to bring enough to the table to not leave you wholly and completely depleted and exhausted by the end of the day. Because the labor it takes to raise children and run a household
I just seen a post with Gucci Mane wife, Keisha Ka'oir, saying how Gucci don't gotta do nothing but shower and pick his clothes. Like how she do everything for him. She take care of the bills, the food, literally everything. Like, I don't know how to feel about that. Like, a lot of people was in the comments saying like that's too much and they want everything to be equal, but I feel like I don't know, she coming from a good place. Like, she an island woman, so she's saying she want her man to need her, not just want her, because she want to keep the money in-house. So all of the cleaning, cooking, she says she handling all that. He don't got to worry about nothing.
Only thing Gucci got to do is shower. He don't got to do nothing else. I do everything for that man, but not because I have to do it. I want to. I enjoy taking care of him. I enjoy him just being happy and going to the studio and doing music. I don't want him to worry about the bills, worry about what he got to eat, worry about nothing. That man, all he got to do is bathe child and go do his shows and go to the studio. That is it. The wife takes care of everything else, and I love doing it. And if I don't do it, I would be miserable.
Why do you think you'd be miserable?
Because I want to take care of my man. I don't want nobody else to do it. I want you to pay so-and-so to do this. A chef, I cook for him. I buy his clothes. I do everything. And I want to keep the money at home.
Baby!
I want to keep the money in the bank.
Yes, yes, yes.
I invest. I do great investments. So it's like, the thing is, when you have a man, you want that man to need you, not want you. And Gucci needs me. He can't function without me. And that's what you want in a relationship.
Did y'all hear Keisha Ka'oir say that all her men need to do is shower? Child, that lady didn't say all her men gotta do is shower. She do everything. She does everything from paying her bills to cooking to cleaning to picking out his clothes and everything. What? So it was parts of this interview that I agreed with and parts that I was just like, I'm a little skeptical. Like, what you mean by that? So she did mention that she wants to keep the money in-house. So basically, like picking out his clothes. He don't need a stylist. Wifey got the stylist. I agree with that. Her cooking, I agree with that too. Cook for the man. The man go out and work, you can cook for the man. Paying the bills, I was kind of confused. I know he makes money as well, but I guess she just means that she's like the person who writes out the bills and stuff like that. I feel like that's something y'all should do together in a marriage to keep it, keep the togetherness so both of y'all can know what's going on. But to each his own. But this is where she lost me at. She said that, and you want your man to just be, completely dependent upon you. Basically, she was saying you want your man to need you, not just want you. She wants him to be completely dependent on her, and he can't function without her. That's a problem. And I'm going to tell you where the problem comes in. If something happens to her, God forbid, he won't know how to function. And that happens to a lot of people. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but I've heard of a couple of stories where the man has paid all the bills and he passes away and the woman doesn't know where to start to do things. But like I said, to each his own. I believe that if a man go out there and work and you're at home, you can do all the things. But Keisha Ka'oir and Gucci relationship works, so I'm here for it. When he was in jail, she invested a lot. She still does great investments, so I'm here for it. I love Keisha damn.
Let's jump into my favorite part of all of the content I post on YouTube, and that's just my thoughts, where I get to kind of express what I feel about whatever we have read or gone over. So let's get into it. So a few weeks ago, Keisha Ka'oir, the beautiful and always put together wife, in my opinion, of Gucci Mane, the rapper, was doing a interview with Carlos King. And the clip that kind of went viral was her discussing how she, this man is spoiled. He doesn't have to do anything. She cooks, she cleans, she pampers him. She waits on him basically hand and foot. He just has to get up and shower every day. And she even used to do that when he first came home from prison a few years ago. And a lot of people were upset. I would say there was actually a great mix of commentary that I captured in the TikToks there was a professional therapist in there. There was some other opinions in there about how, what is she doing? How is she treating her children if she's dedicating so much time to Gucci Man? As well as there were, I think I included at least one clip of a man saying, yeah, this is how women need to treat men. And there are some very fundamental things that people don't realize about Gucci Man and Keisha Ka'oir's situation. Number one, they're celebrities, and their money is not our money. And most people who are making commentary on their dynamic are not in the tax bracket that those folks are in. I just want to, put that out as number one. Number two, from my opinion and observation of the way Keisha Ka'oir has moved throughout the years, she is a very savvy woman. She is not going to, in my opinion, she is not going to invest that type of time into a man who is not fully fulfilling all of his financial responsibilities and making her feel pampered and like a queen. That's just my observation from the way I have seen her present herself and their family, as well as, just the way they move in public. And to me, it does look cute when they match. So though me as an individual, and for most women, I do not think this is a wise thing to do, I have a very clear understanding that the source and the parties that are engaged in this particular behavior are far above my tax bracket and my income earning level. So along with Keisha Ka'oir being very savvy, and I truly believe Gucci Man pays every single bill in that house, not because Keisha Ka'oir has no money. I believe she has her own money. I believe he truly believes in the provider mindset. The way he acts towards her, to me, the way he loves on her, to the way that they interact with one another, I think he believes in a more traditional male role of providing that. That's just my observation. I don't know these folks, okay? So when people on social media are really upset about her saying that, I see both sides. I understand why people can be a little frustrated or annoyed that she's saying this, because it's like, you're giving men, the wrong idea and this is what they're going to want. But on the other side of it, I am understanding the source of who is saying this. They are in a very different financial position than most people. I don't think this at all means that Keisha Ka'oir is treated like any sort of Cinderella character in her home. I believe she is very invested in her family, in her marriage, and her name is on all the documents with all the access to all the monies. Okay. So this is not a woman who is doing things lightly or without a strategy in mind. Just based upon my observation of her, she is a very street savvy and a street smart woman. She's not going to do anything that's not good for her and her kids and her family. And she is doing this. She is pouring in to the relationship in this way, into her marriage in this way, because of the way Gucci Man is pouring in the things he's expected to pour in the right measure, if that makes sense. So do I think that people just need to see the clip for what it is? Yes. And they also need to consider the source? Yes. Do I think this is good dating advice for most people to follow? Absolutely not. I understand the source. I understand what she's saying, and I understand what she's not saying based upon who she is and what actually this is. And for the men who are asking for this treatment, they're ridiculous, because the men who are asking for this are not of a provider mindset or means. They are 50-50 men who want to be worshipped, or less than. They're not even 50-50. They are not walking in and fulfilling their potential. They're not high earning men. They aren't men of means. They're not men who could even seek to attract the type of woman who would be inspired to do this. No, they want to get as much out of a woman for as little possible input. So the men who are asking for this type of treatment, they're ridiculous, because they're not on that level. They need to focus on being better men to even remotely attract this type of woman. But what they don't understand is, to attract that type of woman, you need a certain amount of income, and they don't have it. And a certain amount of income takes the right level of ambition, the right level of stick-to-itness, in most people's cases, the right level of education. And those all three are things that, men don't want to, a lot of men don't want to work today. And that is causing them a lot of consternation and frustration and the type of women that they can attract. So yeah, I think the clip is interesting, and I can appreciate it for what it is based upon who it's coming from. I don't take it for any more or any less than that, but I did really enjoy the insights from others. Leave a comment below and let me know your thoughts on, this situation and how you feel about, Keisha's comments and her relationship with Gucci Mane in this way, as well as you feel that this is something that you would, engage in a relationship with a man who was providing on that level. Thank you for joining me today for this episode of Response and React, When Money Changes the Rules, Keisha Ka'oir and Gucci Mane's relationship. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe so you don't miss the next deep dive into how love, money, and mindset interact in modern dating, and so we can talk about our favorite celebs. Now, if you're ready to take this beyond just watching and actually do the work to become a better dater, I've got something for you. Over on my exclusive coffee subscription, I've created interactive coaching content where you can respond to thoughtful questions, complete guided activities, and get direct insight from me on how to date more intentionally, set your standards, and attract the relationship you deserve. This is where we turn conversation into transformation. If you're interested in working with me one-on-one, check out the links below. And don't forget to subscribe to my podcast, The Successful Invisible, on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Until next time, this is your relationship coach, Janelle, reminding you your standards aren't too high. Your dating strategy just needs to match them. Stay empowered, and I'll see you inside the coffee community.